This is an update on the Model AB. I did a previous video on. What I said in that was I was going to try and experiment by putting one new capacitor on the tone generator to see whether it made any difference to the sound. So here I've got the manuals up, at least in part, to try and get at the generator. If we have a look in here, here we have the tone generator. There's some pencil markings, I don't know whether you can see it there, on the generator, which says wired by 216 and condensed by 216 and put on by 216. So that's the worker who actually put the whole thing together. Obviously put all the bits on, put all the condensers on, and wired the whole thing up. So I've selected a tone to replace, which I'm going to replace this one here, tone 58, and we'll just see what difference that makes. I'm just going to clip it at one end and put on a new cap and see what that difference that makes. Okay, so there's the new cap crudely tacked across that particular inductor. Just disconnected one end of the old cap. Interestingly, the old cap should be reading 0.1 microfarad, 100 nanofarads, and it's actually reading 113 nanofarads, which, considering this thing is 72-year-old, is incredibly close. I'm really surprised by that. I thought there'd be a lot more drift on it than that, but it might indicate that the rest of the caps are actually in remarkably good condition for their age, and might suggest that actually I'm not going to gain an awful lot by replacing them. So there it is in place. Now, from the frequency chart, I know that that tone, which is tone 58, occurs on the fourth drawbar. So here we are, fourth drawbar out, and it's the third A, which is here. So that's the new tone, or the new capacitor on that tone. And just hear it with the adjacent notes. Absolutely no difference whatsoever, which is really interesting. I've been thinking I might get a dramatic jump in volume with a new cap on it, but actually you can't audibly hear anything if there's any difference in output. It's so small that it doesn't seem to make any difference. So what that tends to say to me is actually that I might as well leave well alone with this, and actually not bother recapping it. The other thing I had thinking about, because I was concerned that the bass was a bit soft and a bit woolly maybe, but actually when I think about it, the capacitors, these capacitors don't go down below, I think it's about tone 44 or something like that, anyway, so that lower register is not going to be affected by any recap. So all in all, I'm a bit inclined to leave her as she is. What I will do while I've got the manuals up is replace the up-stop and down-stop felts in both manuals while I've got them, which will improve the feel of the manuals. But other than that, there we go. Interesting object lesson. Don't recap unless you absolutely have to. Just for information, I've removed the lower rail from the lower manual to do the up-stop down-stop felts. Good fun and games to get these off compared with the more recent Hammonds, because these are held on with umpteen screws and a couple of bolts underneath the manual rather than the convenient strips that you get on a B3, C3, etc. But anyway, certainly the up-stop felt there looking pretty thin and not very much of it there. So interesting to see what difference it makes when it's replaced. The down-stop felt here on a removable strip acres of crud, of course, and there's the latch mechanism for the presets, and all sorts of fluff and gunge to be got out of the manuals there. Muck of ages, hasn't seen the light of day for 70 odd years, no doubt about it. So we'll get all that muck out and then replace the felts. The thing that's rather interesting about the downstop felt is that whereas on more recent Hammonds they're all glued down, in this 1937 example they're rather beautifully laced down with string rather than glued. Just a small difference that you wouldn't normally know.